And we are live with David Starlyte coming from Australia. Hi, David.
Hi, good morning from Australia. How is everyone? So welcome to the show. I'm growing a bit of hair on my face. It grows really quickly, so it's for the ladies out there, it's quite a different phenomenon having hair that just sprouts out because, within about a week, I already get a beard pretty much. So I shaved a little bit yesterday, and a couple of weeks ago, I got a new blade, and I had a big cut right through my chin, and the blood was pouring out. And that was a lack of mindfulness, really, because it was a new blade, and I just went like that, and I was like, no, you really have to sort of go get in touch with that blade. And I just sort of was too abrupt, too quick with that. I was like too quick. And so I had this blood pouring out of me, and it's happened a few times. I'm sure if any men are listening, they would the same thing would have happened to them. But it's just these things that happen when you shave, and all the ladies. It's something quite outside of your experience. You don't have the same growth of hair anywhere in your bodies. So it's a little bit different. And welcome, Stu. Maybe Stu can relate. It looks like from the picture that you are someone who shaves regularly, but it does look like you have a beautiful white beard, actually. So Stu, maybe comments about how your shaving experiences go, and if it's a practice of mindfulness, and how that connection is for you. A bit of self-care, perhaps. And the strange thing of growing hair, and some people like it, some people don't. It's also interesting because it's, some people love to grow hair, some people don't. I always feel better when I cut my hair. I feel refreshed. And in Taoism, there's a tradition that hair is absorbing qi, is absorbing energy. There's another tradition of hair absorbing your own emotion. And so when you clear out your hair, it's like you release all emotions. So I always feel clean. I always feel refreshed. So it's a physical thing that seems to refresh me. And Suzanne Dominikovitz, I love your name, and I don't know if I got that right. Where are you from, Suzanne? Welcome to the show. And it's great to have someone new. So welcome, Suzanne. And Stu, I'm glad we don't have to shave as much as women do, legs and underarms. Well, a lot of ladies, go to get waxed or electrolysis, or some of them do grow their hair under their arms, and it's become more of the sort of hippie tradition. So when I see a group of hippies together here, we have a lot of campers, people in camper vans, and even in tents. We have that type of person, and you see, I see them getting out. I always see them getting out of the back of a van. I see these young ladies. Usually, it's also young men, but I'm always noticing the ladies are getting out of these vans, and so often they have hair under their arms, and I think, for me, it's quite sweet. I find it quite charming, but some people aren't into that kind of thing, hair under the arms. But these days, a lot of men are shaving under their arms, or at least most men seem to be at least trimming under their arms. I'm not sure if that's your experience, but over here where I live, men are not growing a lot of hair under their arms. You'll see a few hairs usually, but I literally don't see men with a bush under their arms, which is probably more 20 years ago, 30 years ago, men would have a bush under their arms, and now it's different. So we live in changing times, and people are more free to express themselves in different ways. And even if that's with their hair, it's a way to express oneself and be an individual. And Suzanne, first time watching, welcome. Living in Egypt, that's really cool. I've been to Egypt a couple of times, and very amazing history. What's it like to live there? What are you doing there? That would be great to share, and it would be wonderful to know more about that. Amantha, welcome. That's great to see you, Amantha. So I'm really excited because I don't think we've had someone from Egypt before on the show. Not that I was aware of. We've certainly had a few in America, but not from Egypt. So welcome. But with your name, it sounds like you're from Europe. And Carla says he loves Europe. Have you been there, Carlos? I just love ancient Egypt, and it's so extraordinary. The more you look at it, the more you're intrigued, and the stories and the symbols. I just love the symbolism. And Suzanne, thanks for sharing. I've been working long years as a diving instructor at the Red Sea. Yeah, there's a lot of tourism and interesting. It's a beautiful place, the Red Sea. And you're from Austria. Thanks for sharing. And that's such a wonderful thing that where I live in the Great Barrier Reef, we have a lot of diving instructors, and I'm always meeting wonderful diving instructors. I just met one a few days ago, a beautiful diving instructor, and she's from Canada. So we have these diving instructors that seem to be able to travel to all these wonderful destinations like the Great Barrier Reef and the Red Sea, these beautiful places. Indonesia is really good for diving. I'm just thinking where else. The Maldives, people go diving. And I was more into snorkeling myself. I have been diving, but more into snorkeling. I just find it more, less pressure, put it that way. But I suppose people do get used to it, and people love their diving. And it's wonderful to interact with nature and the sea in that way. And Carlos, your ancestors are from Egypt. How extraordinary. Such an interesting part of the world, such an interesting energy, and they're still discovering new things in the temples there, and I'm always interested to hear the different theories, because I don't trust the mainstream archaeologists. I prefer the more open-minded people, put it that way. Just because a lot of the traditions were quite backward. If you go back 100 years, a lot of the theories about history were very outdated, and now we're looking into things from a new perspective and seeing how history is a lot more extraordinary than the old archaeologists used to tell us. And I'm just thinking of someone, I can't remember his name, and he's got a show on Netflix, which I recommend. I think it's called Ancient Apocalypse. I'm not sure if you've heard of that. I was watching it before. And this Graham Hancock he's actually a journalist. He's a very interesting man, because he's just got an open mind and explores things from a new perspective. I'm sure he has interesting theories. I'm sure not all of the theories are right, but this Graham Hancock, he wrote a lot of interesting books, and he's just some of his theories are just very cool and very outlandish, and a lot of what he says makes sense though, and this series on Netflix is watched a little bit. It was fantastic, and really opens your mind to the ancient past and the connection with the Great Flood, and even there's theories about Atlantis, and for me, Atlantis is real, was real. And Hancock, he travels around hunting for evidence of lost civilizations, and when you learn about the past, you learn more about the present, and you learn that great civilizations come and go, and we're all going to come and go, and we live in a way, life is always changing, and right now it seems like the foundations aren't stable. They're being destabilized, and that's for good reason, because the power elites have the people in power have held things so with such a firm grip, and the corruption is now being revealed more and more. We continually seem to find out more corruption, how much corruption there is. And reading the comments, Sandra. So welcome, Sandra. Where are you, Sandra? And Shauna. Hello, Shauna. Suzanne. And Suzanne, no, never seen this, but I think there's more behind history than we know. Yeah, a lot more. And it's just the problem with reading history out of a book is it also, depending on the book, but it also can be a bit dry. Particularly the history I learned at school was very dry. But whatever history it was, history was alive. People were alive. They were in the same bodies we have, and they weren't sort of backward, and they were alive human beings. So I think we always have to put ourselves in history and see ourselves in the past, and not see it as something separate. But I was reading they found a new race of people with smaller brains than we have. So that was also interesting. I'm just thinking where that was coming out of that. That was one of these new discoveries, that there was this whole other race of people, and they were making marks, and they definitely had abilities. So the idea that only human beings have abilities is not really true. And it's an interesting time. What do you make of what's going on in the world? The fear, the uncertainty. It seems like our economies are shaking. Our worldviews are shaking. A lot of things are shaking. A lot of fear and uncertainty is still happening. People are trying to control things, and the power is always a big issue. Where's the power going? Who's controlling? Who's in control? And we're going through a big shift. There's no doubt. And we're seeing things as a collective. We're seeing things as they are. We're starting to go, oh, well, this is actually what's happening. This is what's been going on. This is how things have been working. This is how things are. And that's a powerful time to be in. With fear, we always face fear, whether as individuals or collectively. There's always this idea of fear. It's always around, and there's always been fear. I mean, when there was a dinosaur on your doorstep, you would have felt fear. Whether it's a shark, a tiger, a coconut falling on your head, a shark. I said a shark, crocodile, shark, alligator, mosquito. There's always problems that we face, and that also makes us stronger and more resilient. So if you remove all the problems and you make life one big effortless celebration, we wouldn't grow. We wouldn't have that opportunity to grow. So we need this sort of yin and yang. It seems to be so much part of the nature of this reality, this three-dimensional paradigm in which we are existing. This yin and yang, this pushing of forces. Some people call it masculine and feminine, male, female. I like the yin and yang framing as is, because the yin and yang is within everything as well as externally. So the sun is yang. However, within our body, the in Chinese classical medicine, each part has different components. There's yin, there's yang, there's it's flowing throughout our being, and so you could call it masculine and feminine is flowing throughout our being, because that's really the principle of being human, is that we come from male and female. So this representation is really important, and it's an energy that flows through us, the yin and the yang, and it's an energy that flows through everything, and it seems to require a duality so often in this circumstance that we find ourselves in. We can always transcend it and look beyond it. And non-duality is something I talk about a lot. It needs to recognize that there is a polarity. You can transcend it, you can move beyond it. It's like, because you have a desire for something doesn't mean you need to have that right away. You can move beyond that. And that's really wonderful to move beyond fear, to acknowledge that fear exists, and see, not to resist that there is fear, but for it not to be obstructing your path, not to be the greatest factor in how you live your life. To be, all right, fear is there, I'm still going to keep moving forward. So that's really important. We keep moving and acknowledge, all right, there is a world that's going on around us. There's so much going on. We can create our own bubble, our own space of harmony and peace. We can always create that within, and we have that power to manifest from that place of loving kindness and expansion and openness. And blessings will come to you. And part of the important thing is to be in a state of gratitude. When you're in a state of gratitude, then things are flowing to you more effortlessly and easily. Being grateful doesn't mean you're going to win the lottery immediately. It doesn't quite work that way. It's a vibrational frequency that shifts how you view the world. So when I look, and for me, this is a challenge, because I love to, well, I am affected by the weather, and I love to look out and go, oh, I love the blue sky today. And some days are more moody, and for me, that's how I feel. It's like today, there's all these gray clouds, and it just seems a lot more moody, and that stimulates me to paint as an artist. I feel like, oh, there's some moodiness here. So being grateful is to acknowledge that every day is a new day, a new opportunity, and we can't have every day. We cannot have every day that's going to be the perfect day, the perfect weather. We have different seasons, and seasons come and go. And if you had an endless summer, you wouldn't be appreciating. It would be kind of routine, tedious, perhaps. So an endless spring, perhaps. Whatever it is that you enjoy, say it's spring. If it was an endless spring, we would never have summer, we'd never have winter. We need these parts of life. We seem to need to have some times of stillness, sometimes of expression, sometimes going out in the world, sometimes coming back in. This constant flow of yin and yang energetically, where we meet the world in a certain way, and then when it becomes too much, we come back in and maybe we find our cocoon, or sometimes hibernate. And that's what sometimes illness allows us, this symbolic period of hibernation. So we're all going through ups and downs, and the important thing is to keep going and appreciate where you come from. Be grateful for what you have, and there is a big shift. There is this big awakening, and the poles are moving around. There's a lot of changes happening to the frequency of the planet. And the Schumann resonance, I think I've spoken about the Schumann resonance. That's also really interesting. That frequency and how it affects us. It's a spectrum of energies, and that's the Earth's electromagnetic field, which is a spectrum, and it's really global electromagnetic resonances that are generated, and it's kind of like there's this lightning that's sent into the Earth's surface, and this energy is it's what we're part of. We're affected by those electromagnetic waves. They're circling around the Earth. And so those waves, like a wavelength, those waves, they can be stronger or weaker, and they create like an atmospheric heartbeat. So that's pretty cool. And it can change the Earth's natural processes. It can affect the healing process of the body. It can reduce stress and inflammation. So the Schumann resonance has a physical, biological effect on a person, and it is electromagnetic. And I think it was Tesla, it definitely was Tesla, he said the universe is made of energy and frequency. If you want to understand the universe, then everything is energy. And it's just about harnessing the energy to create the thing that we desire. So harnessing energy is how we create whatever we desire. So remember, everything is energy. And Tesla knew that if we want to create something in our lives, we have to match its frequency. So if we want to be the wave, we have to be like a wave. If we want a wave, we have to be like a wave. So we have to be in that flow. So I like the flow state. I think that's also really helpful. Understanding to be in flow, I really like that. And that was something that was popularized, I think, about 20 years ago, the flow state. And really something within the positive psychology where you feel immersed in whatever you're doing. So a lot of athletes are in this state of flow. And for me, so often I'm in a flow state where it's just you're not thinking, you're just being, you're just present in whatever you're doing, whether painting, moving, dancing. You're just fully immersed in what you're doing, and it's usually your mind is calm, and you're just in the zone. And you can definitely tap into that force, tap into that energy. I find listening to the right music, I get into the flow. With music really helps me to get into the flow. And it feels really good if you're doing something aligned to your goals, or something that's something productive, valuable, that you finding fulfillment from. It's really fantastic to be in the flow. So when are you in the flow? What times of your life have you been in the flow? I'm sure everyone's been in the flow. They just may not have thought of themselves as being in the flow state. But it's really a state of creativity, optimal experience, or if you want to be a great at anything, it's just about being in that flow. And it can last for a while. And I think things like things for me that I can get into the state of, also physical, like yoga and swimming, running. I don't run myself. Hiking, I find I can be in the flow. Cooking, gardening. I mentioned painting, artwork, drawing, where you're in this engaged in what you're doing. You're moving. It's things are just in this beautiful state. But people also call it peak experience. I've heard of that being in a peak experience. In Japan, there's something called Satori. You can also think of it as being in the zone. And I think that's what runners often talk about as well. They often talk about this being a runner's high. There is often a connection between being something where you're just in that zone, and you're not consciously, now I'm going to lift up my arm. You're not consciously, you're conscious, but you're not consciously controlling things, because you've done it so many times. Like for me, making tea, I mean, there's not much to make tea, but I'm not thinking about anything. I've done it so many times. I'm just in the zone. But maybe painting is a better example, which I'm not thinking, now I'm going to do this. I'm just in the zone. So things are flowing. That's what the flow state is all about. Things are flowing. And I'm just checking anyone's comment. Hi, Sagil. So we'll do a little bit of meditation, and maybe I've talked enough about this collective awakening, about the flow state, about the world changing, about yin and yang being our sort of the superpowers of existence of this reality. Because when you think of other realities, like people talk about the heavenly realm, the God, the higher perspectives. If you go above, there's not this need for duality. Three-dimensional world, we have this gravity, we have this fire and water, we have very contrasting energies. But transcending that, or moving into the heavenly realms and the spirit state, without these physical bodies, things are about consciousness more than they're about polarity. And consciousness can take on many forms, and it's not polarized like we are. However, it does express itself in infinite levels and infinite forms. So it's not forced to be within a sort of duality paradigm. So we'll do a little bit of meditation, and we'll do some readings, pick some cards for people, and let's find a place where we can be comfortable for our meditation practice, and serenely placing your feet on the surface of the ground if you can, if you're barefoot. Otherwise, if you're wearing shoes, just placing your feet on the ground, that helps to ground. If you can, have a straight back and your arms relaxed at the sides. Just going to bring that down a little bit. And relaxing your facial muscles. the area around your eyes, your forehead, your mouth, your jaw, the top of your head, the back of your head, relaxing your neck, your shoulders, relaxing your arms, your hands, relaxing your back and your chest. Relaxing both your legs and your feet. And now relaxing the whole body, relaxed. And as you breathe in and out, calming the breath, finding tranquility in each breath that you take, not forcing anything, being effortless, breathing with calmness, with tranquility, feeling the peace rise up within you, like filling a bath with water, filling your body with calm. All parts of your being expressing calmness. And feeling a sense of fulfillment, a sense of inner joy from this calmness, enjoying being in a state of calm. And in this state, we experience acceptance, accepting things as they are, not as we wish them to be, but as they truly are, without any resistance. There may be sounds around you, sounds like cars perhaps, traffic, neighbors, animals. Even people you live with perhaps. The movement of people, the movement of things, the movement of the weather. Life is always moving around us. We have the opportunity to pivot, to become a single-pointed awareness that accepts this movement, allows for it to be without any resistance. So the world can keep changing and moving effortlessly, impermanence expressed in the physical realm. And we watch with calmness, with a calm and abiding mind, relaxed. This state allows us to accept our own life for what it is, our own self for what that self represents, our own self for the changes that you go through. Until all you experience is calm. And that calm feels so good. Because there is no need to resist. And when you can let go of resistance, you are free. Your mind becomes liberated. There's nowhere else for you to be but right here, right now, in the moment. And this is where life happens. Breathing effortlessly. As you enjoy being in this moment, recognizing that you are here for a purpose. You are here for a reason. You are valuable to the infinite symphony. Enjoy. Enjoy peace. Enjoy calm. Enjoy accepting all that is. Taking a deep breath in and out. Moving your feet and hands and stretching out your body. Bringing yourself fully back into the present moment, back into your body. If and when you are ready, you may open your eyes. Namaste. And welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. Welcome, Maureen. Welcome back, Maureen, and welcome, Marianne. And great to see everyone. I hope that was enjoyable and you gained some benefit. You can always come back and revisit that, listen to that again. If anyone wants a card or a quick mini reading, you can let me know. We do have a YouTube channel on the screen, David Starlyte. You can contact me on Facebook, send me a message. Also, there's There's a discovery call, which are free connecting calls that I offer people on heal.me. There's also a link for heal.me. And so you can set up an appointment with me, get in touch with me directly via those channels. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that. If you do enjoy this content, I'm happy to share more on YouTube, for instance. So please do share and connect. And Shauna, I'll pick a card for you, Shauna. And you can also donate if you do have a reading. You can also donate. Shauna, let's have a look at Shauna. So just clearing the energy. And there's also a link for donations, so you can also donate. Thank you. It is much appreciated, and it does help the connection when people, even if it's a small amount, it creates a connection. So there is a link in the description, the paypal.me on the screen. All right, so let's focus on Shauna. And I think it says, I was just trying to read because it's a really cool image. I think it says life is a gift. So thank you, Shauna. That's a beautiful message. Thank you for sharing that. And I always do drink the tea. Yeah. So for Shauna, there's financial constraints. We were just talking about donations. So there's a lot of issues around money circling around you at the moment. A lot of concerns about money. It seems like a lot of obstacles, and there's things that are just standing in your way. So so just give heart to being here and for reaching out and shifting your energy. And that meditation, it would be really helpful for you to practice. You can come back and listen to that. Yeah, I just feel the financial constraints that's sort of weighing heavily on you. There is a portal. It's a feminine energy. There is value. There is someone that is. It's connected to money, but it could be there is a successful endeavor. There is something that's going to bring you support and assistance with these issues. So it may be someone that you already know, but she's going to help you generate some money. It feels like she's very good at organization and focus and discipline, and she's very efficient. So there is an energy opening up that's going to assist you. I think important that you do look for help, ask for help, and be open to possibilities. So this could really bring you forward. So don't don't hold back with your concerns and affirmations. So really important for you, Shauna, right now to have an affirmation where you're saying something that's supporting you. So for instance, the world supports me in my financial goals. I'm making synchronistic connections that serve and honor me. You could put that up on your fridge. You could put that up on your wall, put it up on your door, just to remind you every day that you are being supported, that things are going your way. So something along these lines, and do something, write something that works for you, that you resonate with, that inspires you. For instance, the world supports my abundance. The world supports me in my financial goals. Whatever it is, I am making synchronistic connections that serve and honor me. So I like that. Do something that works for you. There is a spiritual connection happening as well, Shauna. So you're not alone. So just realize that there is spirit connection, there is support. And I do feel that there's an intuitive awareness happening around you, guidance that's coming through from the spirit world. So you do have that connection. And so that's really beautiful, Shauna, and something to be nurtured. I'm just going to pick from the other deck. And if anyone else wants a reading, just write in the comment section. Yeah, so there's a beautiful card here that it's saying that there is it's like a cosmic energy or gathering of energy and a community of energies that are coming together. And so it's kind of like a synchronistic energy around you, Shauna. So you are going to get intuitive hits, and that's reminders that you're part of a soul tribe. You're not alone. You are connected. You are part of this gathering of souls. So that's a beautiful message coming through for you, Shauna, that there is this connection. So whenever you feel alone, remember that you do have this soul connection, that you are connected to other souls, and you have a wonderful community. So if anyone else wants me to pick a card, just write in the comment section. I don't know if anyone's new is still here and you want me to pick a card for you, Suzanne. I don't know if Suzanne is still there in Egypt. And Maureen, you're there. She's just catching up on the cards. Is anyone still with me? Let me know in the comment section. I think otherwise we may need to end the show because I think we may have been disconnected. Oh, Sagil. So Linda, I think. So Sagil, I think that's Linda. So let's pick a card for Sagil. I'm going to use this other deck and see if there's any insights. So let's clear the energy. Okay. Yeah, so it still feels like there's a lot of fear around you, Linda. And this is calling for a strong energy, which is the warrior woman. So I don't know if you saw the movie. What was it called? It was a warrior woman. Do you know the one I'm talking about? I must just think. There was this woman who I'm just thinking, what was her name? Gal Gadot. So this she's got dark hair and she's very strong. And this Gal Gadot was Wonder Woman. So that's what I was talking about. Wonder Woman. I don't know if you saw that movie. I recommend you see it to get into that energy, because this card is saying it's time for you to get into the energy. And there was one in it was about 5-6 years ago with this actress, an Amazon warrior, I believe. And there was another movie in the 1980s as well, which I don't remember seeing, but that was Wonder Woman in the 1980s. I think I remember that. So Wonder Woman is about this energy of really, of courage, of just stepping out, and it's really knowing what you want. So I think right now this card is saying, what do you want, Linda? What do you really want? What, cut through everything else. If you weren't afraid, what would you do? If you weren't afraid, what would you do? And maybe you need a Wonder Woman poster up on your wall. And it feels like cutting through the fear is the key here. So there's just been this consciousness of limitation around you for too long. And it feels almost like this prison. And this energy is saying you have infinite abundance around you. It is possible, if you break out, that it's going to take a warrior. So see yourself as see that woman, Wonder Woman, and see yourself as Wonder Woman in your life. Embody being a warrior. So that would be really cool, Warrior Linda. And that's a new vibration that just cuts through all of this stuff. And it's much more powerful, much more strong, much more optimistic. Just cut through all of the stuff that doesn't serve you, Linda. And Shauna. Okay, I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, so it's all recorded, Shauna. You can come back to it. And so thank you, Linda. Thank you, Shauna. And because we don't have any more comments, we'll end the show. So thank you, everyone, for coming in today. It was great to see you, and I wish you a beautiful evening. Wherever you are in the world, lots of love, and share